to Adrenaline Racing Community's All Japan Championship. Right now we've got qualifying going on for the GT 500 category. We've just started. We've got all of our drivers in the lobby now. I am currently in the booth by myself. You are listening to Kobu GT, and it's been a while since I've commentated on any ARC racing, but I am very happy to be back. So, as we follow through, they are currently on their outlap, so let's go ahead and follow with the leader CRubennnn GT as he comes around in the final sector. Unfortunately, we did have a driver drop out and replacement. Formerly in the Group 2 NSX was Hideki-sama. Unfortunately, there's been connection issues that have just... I think there's just no way around them. So, CRubennnn has taken his position instead, and as of now, there is no determination on how we are going to handle his team in regards to the fact that he can't get off grid. So there will be discussions after today's race, but let's go ahead and follow CRubennnn as he's following around on his hot lap. Hey Dance, how's it going? So we've got starting off with a 129.7 with CRubennnn, a 130.7 with Kofi, behind him a 130.8 with Dart. Baldy one comes in with 131.6. La Bamba comes in with a 31.8, and Crow in a 33.0. I'm very interested to see the qualification and what their strategy is going to be. There's only 10 minutes, so they will only get roughly one tire change at least. Maybe about 5 or 6 laps. But I want to go over the teams that will be fielding today. So we've got CRubennnn here in the Lexus with Wile E. Coyote in the Lamborghini. They are called Blue Flag Racing. Hideki, now CRubennnn, and the Furious 2 in the Honda GT500 and the Chevrolet GT300. They are Team Ferro Racing. Pred J, the Honda GT500, and Jerry in the Mercedes GT300 is Maruchan Seimin Umakoku Racing. Darth Nihilus in the Nissan GT500 and La Rascal in the Ferrari GT300 are Scuderia Supernhado. They are Scuderia Spin Hard. And then Kofi in the Lexus GT500 and Chris in the Aston Martin GT300. They are Racers of the Lost Ark. The Baldy one in the Lexus GT500, Lateral in the Lexus GT300, so a full Lexus team. The Baldy G's. and then La Bamba Negra in the Nissan GT500, and Maddie in the Honda GT300 are Fat Sashimi. I see you guys having fun in the chat. It's good to see you all. It's been a while since we've all raced together, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this season that I've set up to sort of replicate the Super GT formula. We see that Inman and Kofi are coming in for their pit stops. They're going for a fresh tire stint. So with less fuel in the tank, let's see what they can do. With the amount of time left, I don't think that anyone who is still out is going to have enough time for a pit in, out, and a fresh hot lap. Savvy is incapacitated. I don't know. He's not here right now, and I've tried pinging him. Darth coming in with a 30.6, that's true. He's one-upping Kofi Juicy. Pred J, one to look out for. Back in the Group 3 Championship, he was on the rise from Tier C, and he was doing very well on the Mercedes, so let's see how he rolls with the Group 2 cars. Hopefully Savvy wakes up eventually, but I did keep him up last night. And I mean keeping him up last night in a totally platonic way, by the way. Let's go ahead and follow Inman on his out lap, well, his hot lap now, on fresh tires. He's currently out in front of everyone else. I believe Darth and Kofi. Yep. So Darth did go into the pit. But Inman is a whole tenth up, almost 2 tenths. I'm very excited to see where this goes. Inman is very fast. There were a little bit of incidents with rubbing and racing in the Group 3 Championships. He was running as an individual, but let's see if some more experience in all of the other ARC series has given him the edge he needs to make sure he keeps it on track. And we've got a 29.632. That's amazing. A whole almost 7 tenths ahead of Kofi. He's absolutely blasting his way out. I believe Savvy is just sleeping because he stayed up all night for some reason. He was still awake when I got home from work, and considering it's an 8-hour time difference, it was likely 5 a.m. for Savvy, so yep, not sure about that one. But we've got some really good action right now. Inman in the lead, Kofi in second, Darth in third, Pred J in 4th, Crow in 5th, Baldy in 6th, and La Bamba in 7th. I wonder if he just hasn't gotten used to that car. I've been hearing good things about La Bamba, saying that he's fairly quick, but maybe Fuji is just not a track that he likes to race at. And qualifying is over. I'm going to enter in these results, so give me a moment while I do that. So I've got the results for the GT500. So I'm going to go ahead and reset the lobby so that GT300 can start. Lobby. let's see how we get on with the GT300. Welcome everyone who's watching this stream. Very happy to see you guys. See that Lateral will prefer to take out a open track. Rascal seems to be fuel burning. See if he can maximize that strategy. Savvy is doing it asleep. I was hoping to have him in here. Unfortunately, I kept him up all night. So that may have been my fault. But I'm very excited to see all of the different drivers in this GT300 category. We've got Lateral, the resident commentator for all of the Group 3 seasons so far. We've got Maddie, who's been exceptionally fast in the past. Wile E. Coyote, who seems to be making his way up there as well. Jerry Bear, who I was very excited to see again. He was very quick as well. The Rascal is very quick in the Endurance Series, so let's see how he does in an official, well, Super GT Series, see how he likes it. And Chris, he's been surprising from what I've seen. He's taking up the mantle after his brother Dan's. He's become a quick boy. Furious too. I remember seeing him. I believe he's fairly quick too. So. Hello there, Law. How's it going? So, currently Matty is rolling out on his first hot lap, and he's lost control in the last sector. That is very unfortunate. Let's go back to Wile E. Coyote, see where he lands himself. Got Jerry Bear coming up in first at 38.4. 38.7 for Chris. Matty with his loss of traction in a 39.2. 39.9 for Wiley and Furious 2. It's coming in for his lap time at a 40.0. So Jerry Bear is looking fairly strong already. And I like all of the liveries that everyone's come up with. It's very unique and interesting. Like the Cup Noodle team with Jerry Bear. The Rascal with his Sucaderia Spinhado. Maddie's coming up again for another lap. Let's see how he's doing. It seems he had control this time around. Not an improvement, so that's where the tire wear is coming into play here. So hopefully they make the decision to come in soon. Jerry Bear has made that decision now. Well, as it stands, Wile E. Coyote has gone faster by less than 100th. 7,000th of a difference there. Lateral has gone faster than Maddie, which is surprising. Furious 2 is up there in 4th with a 39.0. And Chris did not improve. I expect to see him come in for a change of tires. I'm not totally sure what the say her name in Jerry Bear's livery means. We'll have to ask him about that. Hopefully we can get some driver interviews post-race. But while we watch this action go down, I will be updating the spreadsheet, so I'll be right back. Alright, so if we take a look at the results, LaRascal came in first with a 37.564. And then we have Chris in a 38.065. Jerry Bear in third with a 38.4. Maddie in fourth with a 38.6. Furious 2 in fifth, from what it looks like, with a 39.022. Wile E. Coyote in sixth with a 39.066. And Lateral in seventh position with a 39.1. And I'm going to update the spreadsheet and be right back once more.
Okay. Right.
Hello, we've got Savvy.
Yeah, I'm here. I do apologise. I don't know. I don't know why. Had stuff to do, and then I just realised, oh, it was that time, and I was like, oh god, I better get on it. Then I had like Chili saying, "Where are you?" and Kobe messaged, "Where are you, Sean?" And but I'm here. I'm here. Whew, and I'm out of breath already. Oh,
Yes,
dearie
it
me.
was starting to feel lonely. I didn't have anyone to bounce off of.
Your throat would have been sore because like I've done a lot of races by my own, and it's not good. Like, but I'm here. I'm finally here. So yeah, you've been saved. Oh, so I just had to drink a drink of water. So what have I missed? I've missed qualifying, haven't I?
Yes, qualifying has completed, and I've got the results confirmed. So, GT 500 is going to be started with pole position Inman GT with a 129.632, Darth a 130.278, a whole 6/10 behind Inman.
That's dominating already, isn't that? That's
Yep.
stamping authority in the GT 500s. And you got Kofi third with 130.328, which was half a tenth off Darth's time. And then Craig J was 4 tenths off Kofi's time. Cro Magna in fifth with 131.450. And then a new driver, I think that is it? La Bomba? That's a new driver, ain't it?
Yep.
Yeah, he did a 131.804, so that's sixth in class. And then the Baldy 183, 131.477. But he's down in last place, but his time was better than La Bomba. I've just noticed.
Yep.
Oh, did he get a penalty?
Oh, let's see. Oh, looks like I got it wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say the bold one should be sixth and the bomb is seventh.
Yep.
In class, but yeah, oh well. And then in the GT300s, Larasco half a second quicker than ARC Chris. Jerry Bear nearly 9 tenths off of Larasco's pole time. And then the Gatekeeper Martin 138.659, followed by the Furious 2 Riley Coyote and Lateral G 139.135. And that's surprising to see Lateral down there, considering he had the second fastest time in this whole sign up thing. So to see Lateral down there in last place with a 131.1, that surprised me. That.
Yeah, it's very surprising with how the results turned out. With Lateral placing so high up in the time trial.
Time trial, that was it, yeah.
Yeah, in the time trial, he placed second, right behind Matty. Yeah, but he did say he doesn't really like Fuji, so I'm very...
Yeah, he did say that last night, that he's not a fan of Fuji, yeah, so we'll see him. Hopefully he'll do well in the other races, so, I mean, if there's time to have a bad race, it's now, rather than later on in the championship.
Yep, for sure.
Definitely surprised to see Chris being second fastest in the GT300 category, considering that he was a TSC driver in season 4, and he's only half a second off Larasco, and we've seen how quick Larasco has been in the endurance championship. He's definitely a driver to be watching out of. So I tell you what, that's a solid lap time from Chris to be only half a second away from Rascal's time.
Yep, that's I'm looking forward to seeing how Chris performs. Formerly a Tier C driver, now we can see what kind of chops he has in comparison to Dan's.
Indeed, yeah. Who is the better brother in that there? I don't think there'll be any love lost between those two. No, I think there will be. I mean, there'll be some respect between them, but I think, yeah, maybe Dan's maybe still pinch it. Also nice to see Cro Magna up there. I mean, okay, he's fifth fastest. Nearly about 2 seconds off Inman's time, but nice to see Crow win there. Hopefully he's got a wheel for this time. because I heard he was using a controller for all of season 4, which he really struggled with. So, you know, that's a nice lap time for the pro. And La Bomba, I've not really heard a lot about La Bomba, but we'll see as the hour goes on, see how he copes with it.
Yep. With La Bamba, I've heard that he's fairly quick, and there was a bit of dispute in terms of the time trial versus the actual pace of the drivers. And I was hearing that he's fairly quick, so I hope to see that this time trial was just the track not fitting well for him personally.
Yeah, a bit like Lateral, what you were saying last night. So we'll probably hopefully get to see more of La Bomba up through the field, maybe later on in the championship or even tonight. You never know. But yeah, so that lap time from Inman just looks like he blew it out the park, didn't he? That was like a home run. That lap time to be nearly 7 times quicker than Darth. That's pretty good going now.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, Savvy, you got the track map, correct?
Yes, I do have the track map, yes.
If you want, could you go over the turns real quick as I pull up the video for Fuji?
Right, okay. I'll try as I can since I'm not seeing it from your screen. So it's a long straightaway. It's nearly a mile long, the start for the straight, and then it's hard braking for turn 1. It's slightly downhill too, so braking is a little bit difficult going towards turn 1, Daichi, and then you don't want to run off too wide for turn 2 because you've got AstroTurf on the in the middle of turn 2. You don't want to put tyres on there because it will spin the car around. Little short straightaway into a fast turn 3 Coca-Cola. Very careful not to clip too much curb over or shortcut it because you will get up at least half a second penalty. And then into the difficult turns 4 and 5, the double corner 100R. Turn 4 is flat out through there, but then it gets tighter as the corner goes on. So you have to have a little lift off the throttle. Try and hit the apex as perfectly as possible at turn 5. And then turn 6 to hairpin. Good place to overtake someone. Also very famously known when Chile made that sensational pass, double overtake at turn 1, and then bend it going into the hairpin. Silly Chile. Funny that was him back then. I think a lot of people would have been happy with that, but no. Turn 6 hairpin. It's probably about a second gear corner for the GR300s, or I think it's a G500s. My apologies. I'm trying to think back, anyways. And then turn 7 and 8. That's the first of the penalty burns. And then turn 9 300R. Oh, flat out. And then again, turn 10 another tight corner, Dunlop, and then another hairpin. Turn 11, turn 12. And then I think it goes slightly uphill a little bit, but for turn 13, so you will fight a little bit understeer. Then turn 14 is a bit of an annoying corner because it's like you're flat out and then you have to ease off the throttle because you have to get turn 15 perfectly, which is again, you're going uphill again, if I remember. And then little short-ish straight away, and then turn 16, got to have a wide entry going into the corner for the apex off the corner and then onto the long straightaway. Long penalty burn as well across the start finish line, and that's a lap around Fuji.
Thank you very much, Savvy.
I hope that was good.
Amazing as always.
That was right off the cuff. That was.
And that's why we have you around.
If only I could do my hot laps though, if only. But you know, Kobu said to me last night, if you could do it for 2 with the cars, I was like, no, that's probably wasting too much time.
All right.
Actually, I could have split screen. There's a thought. Anyway, carry on.
Yep. So, grid is set, and I believe everyone is ready. So we will be starting in about a minute. So, hopefully everything goes okay. There's 41 laps here at Fuji. They will be doing a manual rolling start, and hopefully they do well in trying to plan out, especially for the Group 3. They don't have a timer this time. It's all based on laps. So Group 2 will finish ahead, but by how much? Hopefully they have that strategy planned out.
Yeah, well, I mean, the drivers have had enough practice with the the manual rolling start, because obviously we had that in season 4. So I think the drivers will be used to it. It should be a fun, exciting race. It always is around Fuji. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If you're looking forward to it, if the people are looking forward to it, this should be one heck of a race for a season opener for the inaugural All Japan Championship. Is that what it's called again?
Yep, All Japan Championship.
There we go.
Alright, it's starting to look like everyone is ready, so we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Whee! Final begin in about 3 seconds time. And here we go. The first round of the championship. Okay, I'll probably get the starting grid if it's alright with you.
Yep, go
Is
ahead.
that okay? So here we go. It's Inman from Darth and Kofi, Predji, Crow Magda, Baldwin and the Bomber, Rascal, Chris, Jerry, Matty, Furious, Wiley and Lado bring up the 14-car field as they are going to get set for the manual rolling start.
Now this is going to be interesting. As you can see already, everyone is getting their tires warmed up because they don't want to have cold tires into this first corner. It could really mess them up. This is a heavy damage series, so any damage is going to be damage that needs to be repaired.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Just looking through the back of the field, looks like all of the is it the GR500s at the front?
Yes.
All of them have opted to start on medium tyres, and I'm just looking at the GR300s. It looks like that Rascal, Chris, and Jerry are starting on mediums. However, Matty there in the Honda, he's starting on softs, and he's the only one. So only Matty on the soft tyres in the GR300 class.
He must be expecting to get out ahead. With the gatekeeper Matty, I think he wants to get some positions because he knows he can defend through them.
Indeed, yes, that's why we call him as the gatekeeper. Just looking back at some of the liveries here, they are quite smart ones. Which one is your favourite one?
Luckily some of them have created some Super GT replicas, which is the whole point of the reason why I came up with this series. I'm really liking Inman's Wed Sport Lexus right now. It's very in tune with their livery that they have currently. I believe Wed Sport was sponsoring Lexus, but Lexus is no longer running in Super GT as of this year, but they are looking to come back next year. But
I like the look at Wiley Coyote's one. That looks quite smart.
Oh yeah, the Blue Flag Racing, it was very good color. I like it. And
the field, the double file.
Let's see where they're gonna start. They have to start at either the finish start line or at the end of the second light post. So let's see where they'll get started.
Yeah, Inman can dictate the pace when he goes, and he's off, and away we go for the inaugural All Japan Championship. Now we look at them all trying to get single file, trying to get into the slipstream already. Careful here for the first corner. Inman a little bit wide. Oh, a little sideways on exit. Darth sideways. It's going to lose a spot to Kofi.
Losing some traction there. But it seems all right now. Single file. Inman, Kofi, Darth, and Pred J with a little bit of gap to Crow, Labamba, Baldy, and Chris.
Oh, Matty's already got damage. Sorry to interrupt you there, Matty. The gatekeeper has already got some damage. He just had a lot of contact though from that was the Furious 2. When he sort of concertinaed up a little bit there. It was sort of like a domino effect. And
see if we can get a replay.
Matty got into I think we know it was the Furious 2 that got into Matty.
Oh, Kofi's off.
Oh no, that's not good. It's not Kofi time already.
We'll see what happens there.
So it's just going in towards Dunlop. Oh, he just might have mistimed his braking point and around he went. He's nearly got it to the back of him, and so he's lost 4 places then.
It's good on Kofi to compromise his own position to make sure he doesn't hit another driver. And that's what we call good sportsmanship.
Yeah, so we're going to expect to see some drivers going into the pit stop. I would expect Matty to go in. That's obviously not good since Matty only started on the soft tyres, and Furious 2 will have to dip into the pits too to save their damage. But they've got quite a bit of damage on their cars. Shout out as well to Lato, started last. He's already up to 11th overall. So I think that is 4th in class already for Lato.
Yep, he's being attacked by Wile E. Coyote. Furious 2 is into the pits. Must also have damage as well. There is no minimum time requirement for the pits.
I was about to say, yeah, Furious got into Matty. That's how he got the damage there. Lato was actually quite lucky just to miss that contact. I think he did make a little contact with Matty, but there's no damage on Lato's car. Oh, in fact, he does actually. My apologies. He's got front and front left damage. So, yeah, he did get caught up in it.
Yeah, La Bamba Negra gets a little sideways out of the corner coming into Dunlop. Now Kofi's going to take his position back.
Yeah, Kofi now trying to recover from that little incident he had a lap ago. And now already up into 4th place. Set his sights on Reggie. 2 seconds already. Gap.
Yep, as the different tire strategies start to culminate over the course of the race, this is roughly going to be 1 hour total time. It'll be interesting to see how the tire wear is going to affect them.
Just wondering, is this going to be like a one-stop strategy the driver's thinking of, since they were starting on mediums?
Very possible, but that strategy may end up changing as the series goes on, because with ballast, where you will add more weight to the car, it affects fuel consumption and tire wear, so it can change from 1 stops from a race like today to ending up maybe being even 2 stops. So it'll be interesting to see how, as the series develops, how they change their strategies to deal with the ballast.
The change in the GR300. I always get these 2 mixed up. Always do. But Rascal is in the lead. He's past there. Chris cleanly going into Daichi. And Jerry Baird and that AMG Mercedes all over the back. So a nice 3-car scrap for the lead in class for that.
Yep, definitely a good scrap right now, and it's interesting to see the Ferrari right now. I know that it's particularly harsh on its front tires, being a rear-engine car. It's going to
Jerry Baird makes a
large
really
lunge.
late lunge. Yeah, that was like a kamikaze move, but he's going to lose out a bit now.
Nope, he did not get a good exit, and so he's going to drop off the battle.
He's lost a lot of momentum. He's going to lose that spot to Wiley now. In that Lambo, he's
Lateral's going to try and make the move too.
He's going to go around the outside, that of turn 13. Not going to get it yet, but then, Jenny lost a lot of time there. Over 5.5 seconds he's lost. A lot of momentum there, Jerry.
And looks like with that incident with Jerry falling off, Chris is not going to have a great time through that Sector 3, but with this long straight, he can make up a little bit of the time into the slipstream, but not enough, I think. Larascal is going to be pulling away a little bit every lap.
Just looking here, back in the GT500 category, the Boldy one has picked up a penalty. I'd imagine he did shortcut Coca-Cola. Just looking at a replay, yeah, he did. So that's a 2-second penalty for the Boldy one.
Yep, he puts his hazards up, and he's properly burning that penalty in the correct zone. So good on that. It looks like the big battles are in the GT300 right now, but one of the best things about Super GT is once the GT500 category catches back up with the GT300 and starts lapping, the traffic is the most interesting part about Super GT. As we all know, GT300 will have the right of way. They do not need to compromise their racing line. The GT500s need to figure out a way past.
It's going to be interesting if they're going to catch up towards Jerry Bear, because that's our forecast scrap for third overall, because Matty, who has repaired that damage and on those soft tyres, is caught up with the injured lateral. In fact, Matty's having a look around the outside. Lateral a little sideways off of 15. I think. Oh, Wiley, huge sideways off of Panasonic.
Lateral has got the inside line down the main straight, so looks like Matty's going to try and make that move stick. Who knows? Maybe Lateral will pull off.
He's going to compromise because Matty's got damage there, and I think he's going to continue on with that damage, so his car's not going to be as quick on a straight line as the others is.
Yep. Lateral with the damage. It looks like he's going to try and make the move
he's
back.
Trying! Oh, he ran deep into Daichi, and the crisscross has happened, and through again goes Matty.
And it looks like this is going to be a back and forth.
Oh, this is really not an overtaking opportunity. How fast that corner is. Fourth gear around there with the GT300s, and yeah, Matty's through. So now he's got Wiley Coyote just ahead of him now.
Yep, about a 1.8 second gap between Wiley and Matty. We'll see if Matty can push through, but Matty's tires are already looking a little worn in comparison to the mediums, so maybe not the best. The damage did definitely hurt that stint. They only get one set of soft tires.
Just looking at the GT500s, the Bomber's picked up a penalty as well, so he'll serve that on the start-finish straight, which he is actually down to last place because the molded one has passed him.
Well, right now the GT500 field is a little spread out, with the closest battles being at the GT300. We will keep an eye on the GT500 as they get closer and closer to lapping the GT300s.
Which will roughly be about maybe 2, maybe 3 laps or so.
I would say so, yes.
Yeah, the leader's just gone through turn 12 now, and the guy in last place after the Furious has just come across the start finish line now. So yeah, about 2 laps, and then that's when we'll see some lapping involved here.
Matty is currently 1.2 seconds behind Wiley, and he's closing that gap by a significant part in the traction zones. So this Sector 2 and Sector 3 looks like he might be trying to get that slipstream behind the Lamborghini.
Yeah, as I said there, Matty's the only one that started the race on soft tyres, and as you know, soft tyres are a lot more quicker than the mediums, although the mediums do last a lot longer than the soft tyres. So I don't know if this is like Matty trying to compromise or something, but it may come back and bite him late in the race because he'll have to change tyres, will he? You have to change the mediums.
Yes.
And then, while the others will have to just go on the soft tyres. So it may hurt Matty in the long run.
You can just see Jerry Bear right there too. There's a 1.4 second gap between Wiley and Jerry. The interesting thing too is, you know, these cars are currently on their standard balance of performance. Some of these cars are more fuel efficient than others, so it'll be interesting to see how they've played that strategy out as well.
Yeah, indeed. Sorry, I was just looking at Inman then. I thought I had a little moment, but he kept going. Kept sort of stabilising with Inman and Darth, just roughly about the 1.92 second mark. So, you know, Inman probably can serve him, but he is still purple times in 8 laps in. I think it's probably this time by he'll start lapping drivers in the GT300 category.
Yep, Inman is setting lap after lap. Last lap time 31, but he is on the mediums. His pole time was a 1:29, so he's not too far off his soft tire pace.
The only real close battle that's going on in the GT300 is for third place. Kofi's gained at least 8 tenths the last time I looked at it, so he's nearly within slipstream distance of Reggie.
Yep.
that's only the real close battle for the GT300s.
Yep. And we'll observe and try and keep a close eye on both of them, just to make sure that we're catching both. And Lateral back in 13th has really fallen off the pack with that damage. I know in the endurance races he was carrying damage for long amounts of time, and sometimes they would work out, but I think he should have pulled in to repair sooner than later.
Yeah, he should have put it in when Matty and Furious had the time to as well. Obviously, still looking for the sponsors, so if there's any sponsors that are looking out here, hook Claro up, and he'll probably take the sponsor.
He's looking for someone to sponsor his car. Right now, it's all coming out of his personal paychecks.
Well, if he keeps damaging the car over time, it's going to be hard to find a sponsor these days, right?
Okay. Imagine if you had to actually pay for repairs.
Oh yeah, that's the worst thing on your mind, though. Just looking at the Furious too, he's slowly catching up on Lateral. Just seeing the lap times between the two of them. Yeah, so Lateral's still doing fast. He's doing more faster laps. He's been doing consistent 141s. Whereas the Furious 2 it's been a little bit erratic. He did a 140, 145, and then the next two laps have been a 143.3 and a 142.2. So, Lateral's more consistent at the two, but just see there in the background, looking at the Furious 2, that he's just gone off at the hairpin. So
no.
Furious had a bit of a moment there, and through goes Inman. So that was an easy pass there from Inman.
We're gonna start having the flashing from passing.
Yep. So Darth is going to have to get by him away one way or the other, which, yep, there's a little flash of the lights, and through goes Darth at Dunlop. Kofi's up into third place, I just noticed there, so I think Predji's at the moment.
Yep. And very far behind, a whole 7-second gap now.
Yeah. He's actually going into the clutches of Cro-Magnon there too, in that Honda. I tell you what, I drove that Honda when we did the 2-hour race at Suzuka, and I tell you what, that Honda is not a fun car to drive. It's very, very slippy in the rear. Like, I was going through the first corner, the fast out one, I would say 50 times that car was going to spin out.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So, brave to Predji and Cro-Magnon too. I think he's on the Honda as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so they've been very brave racing that.
Yep, for sure. And the interesting thing talking about Cro-Magnon is he's actually driving on pad still.
Oh, he's not got the wheel yet. I thought he had the wheel.
I think he does, but I think he's gone to just opting for pad from now on. But, fun fact, the current models of the Honda NSX are rear-engine machines, or mid-engine machines, and the new 2020 Honda NSX is actually a front engine. So despite the way it there's no change in the looks at all. They just moved the engine to the front as per the new Super GT regulations. So
it's not going to be a slippy car to drive then.
Well, if we ever get the updated Super GT cars, that would be amazing.
Oh, I tell you what, Darth got held up by Latin ever so much that he's lost half a second to Inman. Well, he's got a healthy gap from himself to Kofi in third, nearly 9 seconds adrift. So Darth found it a little bit tough going around Lateral. It's going to be very difficult to try and catch someone around turn 13, 14, 15 area. These are all like slow corners and you're going uphill too, so...
Yep.
That's when he caught an injured lap there, did Darth, so he's going to lose. He's already lost 6 tenths over Inman. And Inman is going to be catching up the battle with Jerry Bear and Riley and Matty too.
Yep, and this can create a whole bunch of situations if he's not careful of being patient and waiting. So we'll see what happens in the next few corners. You see Matty right there.
actually just looking at the fastest time for the GT300s is no 500s, isn't it?
The GT500s for the Group 2, yes.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, so the GT300 there. Matty has set the fastest lap with a 1:31.15 compared to Rascal's time, which he did a 1:39.18. I tell you what, that's actually pretty good going there, considering that Rascal's fastest lap was about 300ths off Matty's fastest time, but Matty's on the soft tyres and Rascal's on the mediums.
Yeah, Matty must be struggling very hard around this track. Maybe not enough practice, or just the way the track flows doesn't bode well for the Honda. But Inman made it past Jerry, Wiley, and the rest of the field, with Darth now making his way through.
And Darth has gained a lot on Inman, down to 2 seconds. We see the lap ago was about 2.8.
A little squirrely around that corner.
Yeah, he did get a little sideways off a Daichi. Got to be careful, don't hit that AstroTurf in turn 2, because it will spin the car around.
Yep.
Gap's going up again. Now he's going to get by Jerry Bear around the outside of the 100R. That's going to be more time lost.
Yep, not a great spot.
And it's back up to 2.8 seconds as it was a lap ago. So Darth managed to finally found his way by.
Inman with Chris in front of him now.
Chris has lost a bit of distance from Rascal. Oh, Chris just lets Inman by.
Yep, had the inside line, but didn't want to compromise Inman, it looks like. It is perfectly fine. You don't need to compromise your own line, but if the driver chooses to do so, that's perfectly okay as well.
Chris has really fallen away from the Rascal over nearly 5 seconds now. Just looking at the lap times, yes, so Rascal's doing consistent 1:39s. I mean, look at it, laps 11 to 3 to 11. He's been in the 1:39s, all of it. Now he did another 1:39 there too, whereas Chris has been doing 1:39. He did a 1:46. He did a 1:46 on lap 4, but there's been 1:39s and 1:40s, so. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at Jerry Bear. My apologies. Oh, looking back at Chris there. Yeah, the last 4 laps he's been into the 1:40s, whereas Rascal has done 1:39s now for the last 8 laps. So yeah, I can see why. I think the tyres are starting to fall off the cliff on that Aston. Someone is in the pits. That's Lado. I think he's actually serving the damage now.
He's got 39%, so. Based on how much fuel he has, see if he changes. He does.
He does.
Goes at 81%, so he must be planning for another stop.
Yeah, I don't think you can go 28 laps on a set of softs. I don't think that'll be the case. So yeah, I think that's definitely 2, possibly a 3 stop for Lado. No, yeah. He probably might. Yeah, might go for 2 or a 3 stop for Lado.
Very possible. Right now, all of the GT300s are going to be 1 lap down, so they're currently expecting to finish at lap 40. Or 39, actually.
39, yeah, about calculations would say about 39.
But as the race continues, it will change, so that's the interesting thing. It's very easy with the timer in the bottom right to tell how many laps you can do based on your lap time. But with the laps, it makes it harder to make that strategy. So hopefully the drivers can adapt to this, as Wile E. Coyote is currently drafting Jerry Bear down the main straight, makes the move on the inside.
Now with the speed of the Lamborghini, it should go by the AMG like it's nothing.
And that's Matty right behind, possibly going to capitalize off this move.
Could go for a free abreast situation. Oh. Wiley got on the brakes a lot earlier than expected.
No, he didn't want to compromise. He did have the inside line, but it seemed like he was too scared of the possible contact, and that's the mental of the heavy damage coming into play there.
Now Predje's going to catch the worst part of the track at the 100R, and there are 3 cars that are nose to tail just ahead.
Predje so right behind.
Yeah, he's going to have to find a way by. Because I know for a fact Matty's not going to move out of the way. He's going to try and find a way by Wiley. Oh, Predje a little sideways off the hairpin.
If Predje can't find a way by all three of these cars, CRubennnn is going to make his opportunity known as well.
Oh, look at Wiley's going to have a look at the inside at Dunlop. While Predje was passing both of them.
Matty makes his move through.
Yeah, Matty's gone through. And now CRubennnn is into the mix.
CRubennn's there. See how he makes his way through in this pack of cars.
Yeah, again, this is the horrible place where you could try and lap these cars here. Darth into the pits. The first one to pit early. 24% of fuel in. Maybe he's going for the slight undercut on Inman. Because I did see the gap was less than 2 seconds when Inman and Darth. Rascal goes in, so the leader of the GT300's in. I think Crow's trying to get a slipstream off of Matty by the looks of it. Jenny's into the pits. Predje's in.
And there's one thing I want to point out right now. Inman has over a quarter, less than half, so about 40% of fuel still. And Darth came in and he had roughly what, 26%, 29%?
24%. Yeah.
And then as other people are coming into the pits now, CRubennnn less than 25%. La Bamba is at 25% exactly. Yeah, Inman is doing a very, very good job of saving fuel right now. Even if he does get undercut, he's going to have so much extra fuel, it's going to cut down his pit stop by a lot.
Yeah, just looking again at Darth, he's got about 75% of fuel in, but he stayed on the medium, so I'm wondering he's going to the soft for his last thing. I don't know if Inman would have took notice on that, but I'm guessing with the gap with Inman and Darth coming down, oh, he's going to stay out. I would have thought maybe Darth was trying to go for the undercut on Inman by the looks of it.
With how
he's going to stay out.
Yeah, with how Inman is saving fuel, I believe he's going to go for a one-stop.
Bit audacious there, I must admit. With 17 laps, he's got about 35%. Then he has to chase the soft tyres, would he?
Yes, he has to use the tires. Well, I did not put that rule into place, so he does not actually have to use the softs if he doesn't feel like they're necessary. But his tire wear is significantly better than second place Lexus. The Kofi has a little bit more wear on his left sides than Inman does.
Yeah.
And now we have Crow in fifth with a blinking fuel light.
Just looking again to the GT300 there, Matty's in the lead, but Rascal has already made that pit stop and he's all over the back of Matty, clipping the little marker at Coca-Cola. But his soft tyres have really gone off there. He'll probably expect to make a pit stop, I think, this time or next time by, as Rascal's all over the back of him, going into what's hairpin, second gear that is for the GT300s there. I think you can see a pass maybe made either at Dunlop or at the start-finish line for the Rascal, maybe.
With the Rascal's current position, he could. Matty goes a little sideways. Wow, that completely negated what I was just going to say.
Put that word back in there.
Matty has some worn tires with Rascal with having fresh mediums. I was gonna say he could just sit behind. He has the traction. He could just get a better exit off of this final main straight, final corner, and he would take the position just off of his superior grip. But he took it over in Dunlop instead.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, Matty's gonna go into the So what was that? 16 laps on a set of softs in the GT300s.
Yes, with a little bit of extra wear because he did have that incident.
Oh yeah.
Crow's in the pits.
Crow was in, yeah. Just
Kofi and Darth are right next to each other now.
Yeah, Kofi's yet to make a pit stop. Darth, on the other hand, has.
So he does need to make his presence known and pass.
He's got to get by Kofi in a hurry here because he doesn't want to lose too much time on Inman, because Inman will be making a pit stop in about 2, maybe 3 laps time possibly.
watch this battle, see how Darth makes his move. He takes a narrow line to try and get a better exit onto the wide exit. Final corner, let's see how he's going to do it. Still on the inside, gets a good exit outside.
Yeah, Kofi had that all wrong at Panasonic. It's tucked up right into the slipstream. Here he goes.
There goes the GTR power. It is a little bit faster on the straights compared to the other GT 500 cars.
Kofi looks like he's not really much of a fight, isn't he? Oh, is he? Is he?
He will defend. He just wants to make sure he keeps a little bit of time to Darth, because he does want to possibly make a position up later in the race.
And yeah, Darth goes through. So the gap now 18.4 seconds. He didn't lose too much time on Inman ahead. As I think also Bomber's into the pits.
Bomber in the pits. He is currently 12% with significant wear on the left front.
Sorry, I had a bit of a nasty cough there. I hope it didn't pick up in the stream now. I hope not.
You're a little bit louder, so maybe so.
So the Bomber's, I think he's the first to change the soft. No, sorry, my apologies. Crew has got onto a set of softs. Baldy one. It's only Inman that is only Inman and Kofi that have not yet made a pit stop. So I've seen Bomber on softs. Crow is on softs. Baldy is stayed on mediums as they're having a battle with the Baldy and Crow there, and the Rascal's getting in a mix there. Pred J is on mediums as well as Darth, so only 6th and 7th in the GT 500s are on softs.
Yep,
I think Kofi's just pulled into the pits too. Yeah, he's going in.
With Baldy and Crow, they're both on fresh tires, but Crow is on softs right now, so he's going to have the advantage through these traction zones in Sector 3. See how this gives him the advantage going into the main straight.
Let's just go through Panasonic. Just needs to get a good run off the corner. Hope the Baldy one doesn't get enough traction off the corner, which it looks like he did. Kofi's gone to a set of softs. He's going to come out ahead of Pridgy. Yes, indeed he does. Only
Baldy
just
moves
about
to the
6
inside.
seconds.
Does he keep it? Oh, there's a switch with Crow.
Defensive. He's going defensive. He's going to go to the outside at Daichi. Baldy one's not got a good line going into towards turn 1. It's going to compromise him
Deep
on
braking.
the straightaway at turn 2.
Crow gets a better exit. He's side by side. He backs out through the Coca-Cola corner.
Yeah, that's not a good place to overtake someone because it's a fast right left-hand corner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're going to try and pass someone, I mean, it'll be a brave pass, but you're going to lose a lot of time to the guy ahead. Crow's trying to have a look at hairpin. Not there yet.
It'd have to be Dunlop or the first turn. So if he can make it sick here, but he's a little too far back.
Yeah, he's too far back going into Dunlop. I think he's just going to have to set himself up at Daichi and then try and outbreak Baldy one going in towards it.
Just trying to check and see the rest of the GT300 field.
I was just seeing that the gap's coming down with Inman and Darth, 17 seconds, nearly 16 seconds. So Darth has already gained at least 1.5 seconds up, although Inman is catching up to Lat and put him at 2 laps down.
We'll have to see if the delta between the pit stop for Darth's second stop and Inman only doing 1 stop. See if that advantage Inman has created being out in front. Oh, and a little bit of touching.
I think there was that. Are you looking at Baldy one in Chrome?
Yes.
And again, Baldy is still holding on. Oh, he may have run right, possibly. No, but he's got the speed off the corner. See what good defensive here from the Baldy one.
Yep. With the medium tires, no less. Crow is not having a great time with the soft tires. He should have the advantage through these traction zones, but the Group 2 cars definitely do have a lot of aero. They have a lot of downforce, and that helps them regardless of what tire they put on those cars.
Inman's into the pits there. I'm just wondering there, I mean, because if you're stuck behind another car, also you've got like the turbulence, haven't you? You've got the dirty air, which means you have to put more turning in to regard that, you know, so it's going to put more wear on your tyres. So if Crow's on the soft tyres, he's got to get by Baldy as fast as he can, because he's already losing out on a lot of time behind Baldy.
Darth makes his presence known, taking the lead, and Inman comes out. Inman comes out with nearly a full tank and still on the mediums, so I'm not sure what Inman's strategy is at this point. He may just be taking mediums all the way through.
Yeah, and also with Darth pitting in on lap 15, I think that's a clear indication that Darth is going for the 2-stop strategy and Inman's going for 1-stop. So that wouldn't be a cause for concern for Inman.
Not at the moment, if he unless he makes mistakes like that. Looking back at the fight with Baldy and Crow, they're still going at it. Crow not having the greatest of time trying to get past Baldy right now.
Who's going to try and get through turn 3? That's there's contact.
There's a little bit of contact there.
But Crow
Baldy,
backed off
no
of
damage. Crow, no damage, so they're still fine. Just a little bit of compromise in their exit there.
Looking at the track map, it seems to be the only battle that's going on now. The cars are pretty much spread it out. Oh, here he goes. He's got it done here. Got good,
there we go.
Good traction off of that hairpin. Although Baldy's not going to give up 5th place without a fight.
He has an outside line right now.
If he can hold on side by side with the Baldy one, it just shuts the door right in the Baldy one's face, and that's a 5th place right there.
That was a very, very deep line that Baldy was trying to take there. But Crow makes the move stick, and now we have a position change for 5th, and with the clean air, I think Crow's going to run away at this point with the soft tires.
He's got a mammoth 9 seconds to catch up on Predger, who's on medium tyres. Yes, indeed he is. But he's setting 132s. There's 133 in there too, where there's now Cro-Mag has freed himself away from that battle with the Baldy one. Let's see what lap times he can do. He just did a 133.3 there, whereas the other 3 laps was a 132. I tell you what, the Bomber's also back there too, not too far away, but he's also on a set of soft tyres in that Nissan.
Yep, he may want to possibly take that position away from Baldy too. So we'll see if he can get that 9 seconds done. 5-second lead from Darth has dropped to 4.2 seconds, so Inman is making some time on Darth right now.
Again, making another mistake. Now he's just trying to get by lateral, which should do it no problem going on the start-finish straight. Nearly gets held up though. Not going to lose too much time there.
But losing a 10th, not so bad. But the GTR will have the better straight line, so you'll see that time going up and up and up.
I'm just wondering here, with both of them on medium tyres with Darth and Inman, I think it's a foregone conclusion that Darth is going for a 2-stop.
Yes.
If he would go into a set of soft tyres, what lap do you think he should? Because if I was him, I wouldn't be pitting in late. I would actually want to have a bit of time to at least catch up to Inman if he's going to go into a set of soft tyres.
He did lap 15 for his first pit stop, right?
Yeah.
So if he's thinking 15 laps on mediums, maybe 9 or 10 laps on the soft, so roughly lap 29, lap 30 is when he'll come in.
Do you think that would be a bit too late though for him? Because I mean, looking at the gap now, it's still coming down to 3.5 seconds. I mean, Inman, even though he does have the fresher medium tyres, 6 laps fresher tyres, 6 or 7 laps tyres, the gap's now nearly going, it's now about 3 seconds now, so yeah, I would expect Darth to make an early second pit stop and then at least have a little bit of time to catch up to Inman. Now, what's the gap for themselves to Kofi? About 25 seconds back. So I don't know, I forgot how much seconds you lose going in lane. Probably roughly, what, 25 seconds, sort of like that?
It depends on how much fuel they're going to put in. but
Yeah,
a standard stop, maybe about 15-20 seconds.
Yeah, looking at Darth's Fury, he's about 25%. So I think he's got to produce some qualifying laps there just to make the gap and not too detrimental for him to catch up to Inman when he makes his second pit stop.
Yep. I think what Darth needs to do here is he needs to do a little bit of damage mitigation. He needs to get past all the GT300s in traffic as quickly as possible. He needs to hope that Inman gets held up in Sector 3 by any GT300s. And then, on top of all of that, maybe do a little bit of fuel saving. And he needs to defend hard if Inman comes up at any point.
I think Darth passed Cherryberg going in towards Dunlop, so he's not going to lose too much time. He's got Chris just ahead, second in the GT300 category. He's going to pass him at the start finish straight, so Darth is not going to lose too much time on Inman. I'm wondering what Inman is going to try and do. Well, he's going to go into the start finish line, so he's going to get by Cherryberg, I think, here at all. Indeed, he will.
Chris is on the medium tires and Jerry is on the soft. So it looks like Jerry is trying to catch Chris right now on this stint, but he's definitely worn his tires out quite a bit.
Still setting faster lap times than Chris. Actually,
Last lap.
Cherryberg setting his personal best of a 1:38.4. Let's see what Chris's best lap is. Don't know just yet. It's not showing up.
And then made his passes with Jerry and Chris just now. Not too much time lost there. Still about 3.1 seconds to Dart.
The Rascal's gone into the 38 now. 1:38.996, the fastest lap in the GT300s. Already nearly a 17-second advantage he's got over the battle for second in class.
And that's something we have to talk about too. Rascal has just been putting a clinic in the GT300 class right now. Not many mistakes, and he's just putting lap in after lap. And we know if he gets flustered at all, it's fine. As the race goes on, he gets better and better. So he seems to have a good head right now, and he's gonna have a solid finish, it looks like.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that in the Endurance Championship. You know, Rascal drove some smart races too. With his teammate being Charles, that dominated the championship. All of the 4 wins was from that team alone. So the Rascal's is a very good driver. I tell you what, I mean, if season 5 happens there and if he participates in it, watch out for him because he could be a shot to win the championship, right?
Oh yeah, I definitely hope to see him there. I hope to be racing in season 5 as well.
You hope to beat him too, don't you?
As far as I know, I think I've only participated in 1 race with him. So, and I think he's beaten me, or he was in a different class. So I don't think we've been on track, same class together yet.
Looks like there's a battle going on between Matty and Wiley, still continuing their battle from the earlier moments.
Yep, about 1.1 seconds, but looks like Wiley is getting passed by Kofi right now. He's going to compromise his exit. He's going to lose a little bit of time to Matty. Yeah, went from about 1.2 to almost 2 seconds now.
2 seconds. Yeah. I've just seen something very interesting here too, is the fact that Lateral has gone onto the medium tyres, so Lateral's made another pit stop. Because he was on soft tyres and he was gaining on the Furious too, but lap 23 did a 2:05, so I'm presuming he made a pit stop. Or he may have picked up another bit of damage.
Yep, I think Lateral may have resigned himself to just putting in the laps at this point. Get himself comfortable in the Lexus, get that experience in the car, and he says he's struggling with getting used to how squirrely it can be in traction zones, so he may be just using this as experience for the next race. And if you guys are enjoying this racing here at Adrenaline Racing Community, don't forget to go to the subscription, check out our Discord, read all the rules. You can get into this racing as well yourself. We have many series going on between GT Sport, even Assetto Corsa and iRacing now, so definitely check that out. And if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe for more racing content.
We're trying to get closer to 400 subscribers, so I mean, if that's the case, then please do. We'd like to get up to that number. Gap though is now less than a second. Darth's going to make a pit stop. He is flashing red now, so Darth will pit this time by.
Yep, it looks like that's about his pit period, so 28 laps, 29 laps, just about. So at this point it's damage mitigation. Inman is going to try and get a little bit of draft for that advantage.
It's such a fast pit lane entry, that, isn't it? How you just swoop in there with you turn right and then left. So here we go. Let's see, what can Darth do? You have to go with soft tyres. If he goes on to mediums, he's going to have to contend with second.
Yep.
If you want to challenge him, you've got to go with the softs.
Kofi right now passing Chris on the main straight. Let's see where Darth is going to come out in comparison. He's coming out right now.
Come out. Oh, he's going to come out, possibly down in third. No, maybe not.
Just about.
Yeah, about nearly 3 seconds. So the gap now 20 seconds. 20 seconds in 13 laps.
I don't know if Kofi will be able to make it all the way on these soft tires. That would be like driving on ice skates.
Actually, just noticed it there. He's actually set the fastest lap though, 1:31.028, set on lap 22. But yeah, you are definitely right. I mean, if he can't go on a set of softs during that, like. Looking at his fuel, it's just about 50%, so I think it's just possibly a tyre change maybe for Kofi if he makes that another pit stop. Just noticed that Pridgey made his second pit stop. He is onto the soft tyres in his Honda. Got 2.3 seconds to catch up to La Bomba.
And this is where the race is about to come to its culmination with everyone finalizing their rounds of pit stops. We'll see where everyone lands in comparison to each other.
Also just noticed that too, Matty's made a pit stop that lap, so he's lost that spot to Wiley, and he's gone on to a set of, I think he's gone on to a fresh set of mediums.
Jerry is catching up to Chris, so remember, well, Rascal's in 2%, Kofi is in, so let's see how this plays out. Crow is coming out of the main straight right now, but it looks like Kofi's just coming out, no fuel, just change of tires,
yeah,
that's
just
it.
Yeah, change your tires, just as a cold, yeah.
And Chris is coming out in front of LaRascal, Jerry Bear as well, so LaRascal loses 2 positions there, but these two still need to make another pit stop.
That's a good battle there between these drivers here. Aston Martin versus the Mercedes, and then LaRascal, he doesn't need to be mixing with them two because he'll probably know that Chris and Jerry will have to pit. Jerry Bear runs very wide in the middle of 100R, so he may lose the spot to Rascal.
Yep, 100R is a very hard turn to get right. The trajectory you need for your entry and exit right into that hairpin corner is just it's very difficult to get right because you want to get back to your racing line as soon as possible and get on the throttle, and then you need to brake again. It's very, very difficult. As Chris runs wide, and now Jerry Bear all over the bumper.
Yeah, Chris took a very, very weird line going into his Dunlop. He didn't really need to defend his position because he was about half a second ahead of Jerry. So he wasn't like legitimately side by side. He didn't really need to defend it, and it compromised him at Dunlop, getting 2 wheels on the grass there.
I think Chris is getting. I know he's been racing in a lot of communities. He's been trying to get all that driving experience. And maybe he's getting a little flustered with the. Oh, there he goes into the pits. Maybe he's getting a little flustered with how the quality of racing. All these amazing drivers we have here in ARC. And Rascal makes his move, passes Jerry Bear back into the lead.
Oh well, that's it. That's the Rascal gone. Literally, he's gonna have a heavy gap over Jerry and Chris as Chris comes out of the pit lane. CRubennnn trying to pass them both. Second in the lead. Oh, Jerry!
No damage for Crow there. No damage for Jerry either. Now, remember, GT500s have to find their own way past the GT300s, so any sort of compromise to the GT300s line, whether it be by forcing them off or what have you, it's the GT500 will be looked at in terms of fault.
It looks like Jerry Bear just can't seem to master what 100R, because he seems to park his car in the middle, and that was where CRubennnn was trying to pass him around the outside. Then obviously the contact was made.
Yep.
So Jerry Bear's sort of struggling. I mean, even though he is on a very set of worn soft tyres, you know, going around that 100R, it takes a lot of stress on especially on the left front. So I would expect Jerry Bear to make his pit stop now, because he's flashing red. And he will go back to a set of medium tyres, because he did do that set of softs.
Bamba trying to make his way past his teammate there in the Bride Japan cars. Oh, and they're bumping each other. No damage from what it looks like, so thankfully no internal team conflict for that incident.
Just looking again at the gap between Darth to Inman. Darth was setting the fastest lap on lap 30 out of 41. And the gap coming down now to 17 seconds, but there's about 10 laps to go. I think that 17 seconds is a bit too far for me.
He's got roughly 9 laps to go. Hopefully he can make it.
He's got to do at least 2 seconds a lap. But he's getting held up behind Furious and Panasonic. So it's going to lose a little bit of time. But Inman is just, this is such a consistent performance this from Inman. You know, his last 8 or 10 laps have all been in the 131. So it's just very consistent. 131.4, 131.7, 131.5, 131.0. That's his best lap. 131.3, 131.1, 131.7. Just so consistent with Inman.
Yep, and it's been almost action the whole race. Things happening all over. As we look back to the Maddie and Wile E. Coyote, nothing happening there. 1.5 seconds. Chris and Jerry just about
Jerry's
close
got
enough.
damage.
Jerry's got damage.
Jerry's got back end damage.
Oh, I wonder
Don't
how
know if
that
he
happened.
got. Someone must have hit him in the front to give him front end damage at least. See if he can go through. Who could it be? Can't see anyone that's got front end damage. No, Jerry Bear's got rear end damage while all the other cars are all clean. So I don't know how Jerry Bear's got that damage.
There are instances where that can happen, where you give a tap and it'll give the other car damage, but it's not enough to give the other car damage. It's very weird how that can happen, but it does happen sometimes. So we'll have to see what Jerry Bear has to say at the end of the race. Hopefully we can do some driver interviews. That'll be something I'm looking forward to.
I think if you put it in the chat, I think they'll be out for it. I hope so. Anyways, just seeing Inman weaving by the battle with Matty and Wiley. Gap going down to about 16.9 seconds. So again, another 1:31 minute time for Inman.
Yep. Darth needs to put in some qualification type laps just to even close that gap, and then it's going to really come down to the final 2 or 3 laps, maybe not even that, with how Inman is driving. So clean, solid, and consistent.
Yeah, Darth only gained half a second though. I mean, half a second with about 8 laps to go is not enough, really. Effectively, Darth's just going to have to contend just to finish in second place. He's got second place in the bag no matter what. Kofi's 14 seconds back. As you say, they're cruising into the pit lane. Now he's about 24 seconds ahead of the Baldy one, so they're going to come out quite close. Baldy one's just coming across the start and finish line now. And
Matty
Kroos
a
is going
little
into
wide.
Daichi.
Matty a little wide. Now he's got Wiley all over him, about 7/10 behind. Let's see here. They are Matty on the mediums. Wiley's on the softs. So this is going to be a developing battle near the end of the race.
Look how fast the Lamborghini is though to the Honda. 170 miles an hour, about nearly a 10-mile-an-hour difference. He's going to have a look at the inside of Daichi. Matty gives him the room. Let's see if the gatekeeper can stick to his nickname, and indeed he does.
Currently gatekeeping Wile E. Coyote, who opted for the Lamborghini, his first pick in all of the cars that were available. And all the cars that were available are the manufacturers that participate in the Super GT series, so there are no concept cars, so no Citroën. There was a couple of other manufacturers that were left out as a result, like the new concept Mazda as well. So only manufacturers with the Super GT series.
Darth is going to catch up to the battle between Matty and Wiley, going towards nets now. Darth is going to get held up a little bit off them, so he's going to lose a little bit of momentum. He's flashing the lights to Wiley, but again, Wiley's entitled to battling with Matty, so he's got by.
It's very good move by Darth. It was important that he was able to get that inside line. He got the traction that slotted him right between Wiley and Matty, so it was clean enough that he could slot himself and keep that traction.
Gap now coming down to 13 seconds now, 13.9 seconds, with 6 laps to go in the GT300. Still, Larasco, 24-second advantage he has over Chris, and he's now into the 137s, his best lap, 137.872. I'm just trying to see what he did for his qualifying lap time. I'll try and bring that up again. His qualifying lap time was a 137.5, so he's only just 3/10 off his qualifying lap.
It's definitely looking to show his pace now that he's on the soft tires again. Now, Larascal has always shown that he can adapt to the race and how the race feels to him, and he will run away with it if he's got the advantage. Now Baldy one behind him. See how Baldy will make this move stick, passing through the traffic. Very easy. Speed difference made it very easy for him.
Could have a battle going on for 5th place though, because Baldy getting a little sideways there. Baldy's on a set of softs, whereas Crow was on the mediums. The gap's gone down to 7.7 seconds. Actually, Baldy's just set his best lap, 132. Wow, that was a huge moment in Coca-Cola for Baldy. 132.029 is his best lap, but he is slowly catching up on Magna with about 6 laps to go. Could be about like a second a lap. Just seeing what lap time Crow's doing. He's doing 132s as well, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to Baldy to catch up to Crow.
Yep.
Oh, Kofi's in. Kofi's in again. This will be a fuel pit stop this time, so that's a 3-stop strategy for Kofi.
Oh, that's interesting to see. That doesn't put him in the clutches of Pred J. So I think he just took it just in case he miscalculated.
Yeah, because this last pit stop he just put on a set of medium tyres and that was it. He didn't put any fuel in the car. So it's a little wide at Coca-Cola. Might get a penalty
burning a
for
penalty.
That. Furious has been definitely struggling in that Chevrolet, hasn't he? It's just not been gone right for the Furious 2, making that contact with Matty on the first lap, and it's just got all downhill for the Furious 2.
And this is it's not over, it's only the first round, and as a reminder, ballast will be applied after every round based on their finishing position, and ballast will add weight to the cars, and that can change and even out some of the playing field. Looking at it, it seems like Larascal and Inman are gonna get a hefty weight ratio added in with the points they're gaining.
Definitely put all of the weight in their car. Give the others a bit of a chance there to get at least some W's at least.
Fun fact, there was a team who ran pole position almost every race despite having ballast, and as a result they didn't even win Super GT because the ballast was just so detrimental to their overall racing. But they were able to qualify well. They just could not keep it. They kept, you know, busting tires. Yeah, busting tires due to the weight. They had to change their aero, and you know, that's something I'm hoping to replicate here. It's just the weight throwing the drivers off their game over the course of an hour race.
Yeah, I think it will take a lot of practice and a bit of dedication just for the next round of the championship, which will be at, where about is it again next week?
So next week we will be going to Kyoto Driving Park with the Yamagiwa Miyabi combination.
Oh, so that's the long track. So there's going to be some fast corners in that at least. So that's going to impact the guys with the heavy ballast on their cars at least.
And Yamagiwa Miyabi is fairly narrow. Only the main straight is fairly wide. The S's and the wide left and right handers, they're gonna play a role in the traffic, whereas the traffic here is only really sector 3 with the tight traction zone.
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, I know what corner you want about in sector 3. That when it goes to the right and then it goes switch to left.
Yep.
Then you got the hairpin to the start. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit difficult for these drivers there too. I would imagine to see a lot of drivers to go off at that track, at that part of the track.
Very narrow, so they'll have to be patient, or they'll have to make the move before. And if they misjudge, they can cause an accident, and that's where they'll have to strategize on their moves, as any racer does, obviously. But you want to make sure you're doing it smart and not compromising anyone else's race.
That one we should look forward to as well, because that is another fun track there. I've just noticed that here we've got 2 laps to go in the GT300s, and Inman has set another lap time into the 132s. Absolute disaster for Inman.
Well, it seems that Inman has got this in the bag. There's 2 laps left to go, and we've essentially locked in the position. So we'll go over the grid order for GT500 right now. We've got Inman in first, Darth in second, Kofi in third, Pred in fourth, Cro-Magnon in fifth, Baldy 1 in sixth, and La Bamba Negra in seventh. GT300 is Lil Rascal in first, second is Chris, Jerry in third, and then there is Wile E. Coyote in fourth, Maddie in fifth, Lateral in sixth, and Furious in seventh with a penalty of 3.4 seconds.
Inman's actually just put a lap on the Bomba Negra, so Bomba is nearly going to be a lap down.
Yep,
As Inman,
if Inman gets past, then Lambamba is done for his race, because he'll have been lapped. But it doesn't seem like he's close enough to do that. So final lap for everyone. I hope everyone's enjoying. Whoa! Ooh, that might.
That was a bit hair-raising for Inman. He didn't need to do that there.
No, he has it in the bag. He doesn't need to make any funny moves. Yeah, if that went wrong, he could have thrown the race to Darth.
Yeah, indeed he would. I mean, he already lost about 2 seconds doing that moment. He's trying to pass the Bomber around the outside. It happened. My oh my, Bomber doesn't want to be lapped here.
Ooh.
Eventually succumbs to it.
That gap to Darth is coming down, so if he continues to fight with La Bamba, this last sector could definitely play a role on whether or not Inman spins out.
Someone is in the pits too. Matty's in the pits. He doesn't have enough fuel to go the distance. So that battle with him and Riley's gone to an end, but he's going to stay fifth in class because he's quite a bit ahead of Lateral. As Inman makes his way around Panasonic for the final time. A little bit of a hair-raising last lap. That's going to really hurt his last lap anyway, last lap time anyways. As he's weaving left and right to pick up the first win of the season. Bamba's flashing lights too. And he did a 133. That's probably the worst lap he's done all race too. So Inman takes the first win of the inaugural All Japan Championship. Second goes to Darth Nihilus. The bumper comes across in last in the GT500s. Then we have to wait for an eternity for Kofi to come across the line. Meanwhile, the winner of the GT300, Larasco, comes across the line half a minute ahead of Chris. And yeah, just want to see where Chris was about. So we're waiting for Kofi. Here he comes across the line to finish on the bottom step of the podium. Kofi weaves across the line to finish in third place. Then second in the class comes Chris. And I mean, that's a good effort that from Chris there to finish second in the class. That's going to put a lot of confidence in him. Here comes Jenny Bear. He's going to come across the line third in the GT500. Here comes Fred J in the back, as well as Wiley. A few more cars coming across. That is Matty and Crow. They're going to be side by side. The two Hondas going side by side. Crow will hold on to fifth place. So good effort that from Crow. There goes Matty. Here comes the body one, the last one to cross the line in the GT500s. And now we just got to wait for Lateral, who's just come across Panasonic. And that's your lot for Fuji. Go on, Lateral. Here he comes. It's actually done steady 141. It's fair play to him. There you go. And that's him across the line.
Good job. Amazing race one. Thank you guys for making this round one a success. It's the first time I've ever run a series ever, so I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'm going to change the screen over. Hopefully we'll get some driver interviews. If not, that's perfectly fine, but I'm going to go ahead and mute us. All right, everybody. Thank you for that round one. It was a amazing race. So I'd first like to uh, ask Inman GT, are you there?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. So you are our race winner for the GT 500 category. How are you feeling about this race win today?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it to be honest. I tried to make the one stop work, but the tyres at the end were a little bit awful. But yeah, definitely happy to get that win.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed is you ran mediums all the way through. So what was the idea behind your strategy with running medium tires the whole race?
Yeah, well, I was trying to figure out the fuel, and I didn't think I could stretch the fuel more than sort of half the race. So I thought if I'm going to do a one stop, I can't really stretch the softs. So I thought, well, let's do two mediums, see how that works, and it turned out all right in the end.
Yep, it was gonna be close, but there were a few incidents that with the traffic it held up Darth a little bit, and I think that's where the traffic came into play and gave you that advantage. Um, with this win, it's going to apply some ballast to your car. How are you feeling about the rule of adding more weight to the car when you're doing well?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I love that rule. It makes the racing a lot closer, and they do it in like the British touring cars as well, and it works really well there. Makes the races so much more exciting as well. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see how that pans out. It's going to be very close come mid-season.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. And going into next week, we're heading over to Kyoto Driving Park with the combination course of Yamagiwa and Miyabi. How are you feeling going into the second round?
Well, I probably Fuji and Kyoto are the two tracks I'm probably best at on this game. So I'm looking pretty optimistic into that round. Looking ahead at other rounds, I'm not too happy at the circuits because I'm not very good at any of the other tracks. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, and I do like the Kyoto track. There's a lot of passing opportunities, a lot of opportunities to see some good action.
Yep, and we're hoping to see a lot of action coming next week as well. Thank you very much, Inman, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
All right, I want to move on to our second place position in the GT 500. Darth, how are you doing?
Hello, mate. How's everything?
Doing very good. How are you doing with your second place finish? How do you feel that race went for yourself?
I'm extremely happy. I really wasn't expecting to be somewhat close to Inman at the first team, the first and second ones. I lead some part of the race, which was pretty good, but just at the end, the recovery couldn't be better.
I agree. You were on a two-stop strategy. You ran two mediums, then the soft stint. How are you feeling about the fuel wear on your GTR specifically? How do you feel that was in comparison to any of the other cars on track?
I specifically wasn't fuel saving at all. I was just going full on. It was just going full throttle and let's see how it goes. I think it goes good, but we'll have to wait for round 2 or 3 to be completely sure about the field, really.
Yep. And going into round two, you're going to get a little bit of ballast for your second place position, but it's m- not more than Inman will be getting. How are you feeling about the ballast rule?
I think that could help us to close the gap to Inman. Seems like it could be a good season ahead. It's going to be practice and trying their best.
Yep. And going into Yamagiwa, how are you feeling about next week's course?
It's gonna be really tough. I honestly don't know the track at all, so I'll need to put so many hours into it. But I think that with the practice, I can get it into a really good position.
That's, I hope you do well as well. And thank you very much. And I hope you do well next week.
Thank you, mate.
All right. So let's go ahead and we'll move on to the next driver that we have. Larascal in the GT300. How are you doing? Larascal, are you there?
Is this on?
It is now. How
Hello?
are you doing?
It is. It is now. I'm doing pretty well, thank you. How are you doing, Kobu?
I'm doing very well myself. Thank you for making GT300 look very easy. How are you feeling about your race win today?
Um, I feel pretty good. I thought it would be a bit of a closer field, um, but I still had to keep on my toes the whole time because the Ferrari can kind of bite you at any point. Um, so I had a couple of moments towards the end of the race which were a bit closer than I would have liked, but I think it went well. I mean, it did go well. So yeah, I'm very happy. Uh, yeah.
Well, congratulations on your win. Going into the next round, the ballast rule. How are you feeling about adding more weight to your car? Do you like it, or how are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling pretty good, actually. I kind of chose the car because I thought that ballast would actually make it a little bit more drivable, um, and maybe affect it not quite as much as other machinery. So I'm still hoping to be competitive at the next track, but I mean we'll see. Maybe it puts me at the back of the grid, but I don't mind that. I think it's a fun rule.
Yeah, I definitely think it's gonna add some interesting scenarios to uh, how everyone is stacking up against each other. So going into the next week, we're going to Yamagiwa and Miyabi combo. How are you feeling about that?
Well, it's a track that I really enjoy. It's one of my favorite tracks in the game. I don't know if I'm actually any good there, um, but I think with the sweeping corners going up the hill, and then you got your long left-handers, yeah, it's a really fun track to drive, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
It's good to hear. And are there any of the other drivers in your GT300 category? Are there any of them that you're expecting to improve with ballast? Are you seeing that there might be a dark horse in the GT300 category?
I think that Matty, he maybe didn't show his true speed today. Um, and so I'm sort of expecting to maybe have more of a race with him next week. Um, Beyond that, I think Jerry had surprising pace today. Well, maybe not surprising because he's been showing it all week in practice, but I'd be excited to race Jerry again um, at Kyoto. So yeah, I guess those are the two drivers I'm looking out for most.
All right. Well, there's a little bit of where Larascal is feeling in comparison to his competitors. Thank you, Larascal. I hope you have a great week.
Thanks, Kobe, for hosting.
Yep. All right, and we've got our second place driver, Chris. How are you doing today?
Hey, how's it going? I'm good, thanks.
Doing very good. How are you feeling about the race today? How do you feel it went for you?
It wasn't too bad. I wasn't sort of rascal sideswiped me a little bit with the qualifying. I forgot he was actually in it. So he took me by surprise. I knew the time was round about the timings that would get me to the top couple of positions, but I got the time that I was hitting midweek, so I'm kind of happy with qualifying. And then the race, obviously, Rascal was just too fast. He was getting half a second per lap roughly. It was just a case of keeping the guys behind me.
Yep, you did have a couple of moments with the traffic of the GT500 coming in, and you had some scraps with Jerry Bear as well. How did you feel about the combination of the GT500, the Group 2 cars, the Group 3 GT300s? How do you feel about how they're mixing together?
I think they're fairly similar paced through some of the corners, which is probably why I was getting caught up or caught behind some of them. On the straights, obviously, they got um, much more power, and they can quite easily pull away. But like I say, the corners, I was probably forgetting that they were there sometimes. Just sort of in my own race because I was kind of far ahead of Jerry for a while, then quite far behind Rascal, so I was sort of forgetting I was actually in a race at some points.
Well, going into next week, we're going to Kyoto Driving Park Yamagiwa Miyabi combo. How are you feeling going into next week with the ballast that you'll be getting for your second place finish?
I've sort of just got used to the car as it is now, and then obviously I've not done that track too many times, so it'll be quite an interesting week trying to figure out the right way to drive around that track, and hopefully it won't have too much of an impact.
Yep, and I hope that you will place well just like today. I hope you will have a great week. Thank you very much, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, and we're going to go to our third place driver in the GT300 category. Jerry Bear, how are you doing?
Hey, Kobu, how's it going?
I am having a great day. Thank you for participating. How are you feeling about your third place finish today?
Well, I mean, going into it, I didn't know where all the practice races had been so scattered. People were running random times. I didn't really know where I'd finish, so I was pretty happy about the qualifying, getting into the middle of the pack and hoping to take advantage of it. And then wasn't really around much. I was getting chased down by everyone right behind me as that time just kind of kept coming down and coming down. But I switched my strategy up to try to re-catch Chris up in that second stint and get out in front of him coming out of our second pits. And that's where we kind of, because I was on a slower tire. I had to get in front of him and slow him down. It was like the only chance to hold that second. And that was when we came out of the pits and we got into each other right there. That gave me just a little bit of damage. I haven't watched the replay back, so I don't know if he got any either. But at that point, I was a second off pace. So I was just really trying to stay consistent so that the group behind me didn't catch up to me and lose the podium.
Yeah, and that's one of the interesting things that you brought up as well is the time. Now, in ARC, we usually use a timer for tracking how long the race is going to be. But this time,
Oh, that was tough.
yeah, I've opted for race laps instead. So this changes your strategy a little bit. How do you feel you were adapting to that?
Oh, well, I was trying to figure out where Inman was because we'd figured out that we were probably going to get lapped twice. So we knew we were going to fall in the 39, 38, 37 range probably of laps, depending on how well we were doing versus how well they were doing. So I was trying to figure out where Inman lapped me so I could try to figure out if we're going to finish on 38 or 39. But I just ended up fueling for all of it, and just if we ended short, we ended short, right? And so I think that might just be the safe strat, is just pretend like you're always going to go long, and if you don't, like you have an extra lap of fuel, I guess. It's better than running out.
I definitely agree on that one. And going into the next round, you're going to be carrying a little bit of ballast. Your car is going to feel a little more weighty. It's going to cause some issues with fuel consumption and a little bit of tire wear. How are you feeling about the ballast rule and going into Kyoto?
Yeah, not great. Love the rule, don't get me wrong. Not super excited that I'm getting ballast on it. But I mean, that's what you get. I think it works out well. It's gonna do exactly what it's supposed to do, and everyone who is a few seconds behind is just gonna close that gap right up. And I'm excited to see what it does, for sure. But it's just gonna get real racy, right? It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I agree, and I hope that it creates a lot more excitement as the rounds come to through the weeks and through the series. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you, Jerry.
Hey, thank you for hosting, Kobe. We'll see you next week.
See you. All right, and I promise I'm going to get to you, La Bamba, but first let's go to Maddie, who is having an issue in the race today. How are you doing, Maddie?
Hiya there. I'm okay now.
You don't sound too pumped up. What exactly happened? We seem to have missed it.
Well, basically what happened, as soon as the race restarted, I was approaching turn one and just Furious just crashed into me, so I had to limp around the whole lap with damage and sneak into the pits for quick repairs.
Yep, and
yeah, race was kind of over before. It almost seemed like it was over as soon as it began.
yep, and you did end up having a little bit of a race with Wile E. Coyote. You were on a different tire at the time. You started on the softs, and everyone else started on the mediums. What was your original plan for that strategy?
Well, the original plan was to hopefully get a nice clean start, like I don't know, 15 laps odd there, and try and get as many laps on the softs as I could. That's the idea. So I didn't, so I could run with less fuel and on the mediums, so I wouldn't lose too much time. There wouldn't be a big time difference in lap times. It kind of worked for a little while, but then because it's on laps, it was a bit harder to figure out how many how many laps of fuel I needed.
Yep, and you're not going to get as much ballast as the rest of the field, if at all, depending on how the math is going to work out. You're on the edge of possibly not getting any percentage of maybe getting 1% extra weight. Going into the next round, how are you feeling about the ballast rule and how it might even out the field?
I think it will make the racing a lot more interesting. I don't mind the ballast rule. Close, it keeps it fun. So yeah, I don't mind about it at all.
And how are you feeling about going into Kyoto next week?
I'm looking forward to that one a lot more than Fuji. I mean, Fuji is not my favourite track, but I much prefer Kyoto, so I'm hoping to do a lot better there.
Yep, and I hope to see you doing well as well. Thank you, Maddie, and I hope you have a good week.
Thanks very much. Thanks for the fun event.
Yep, thank you. And our final interview is going to be La Bamba Negra. How are you doing in the GT500 category?
Hey Kobu, I'm doing good. Pretty challenging event. Fuji's not really my thing, but just learning the track and the car, so it's been better.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. I haven't necessarily been paying attention to all of the endurance series, but I heard that you were doing very well, and it seemed like you were just struggling to get to grips with the car. How are you feeling about driving the GTR today?
Actually, I don't have much experience with it. Funny thing is that I think I would have had better time in the GT300 field, but I was like, might as well, something new. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Not as fun when you're last place all by yourself. But yeah, it's just learning the track. It's also my first endurance event, as a championship.
Yep.
I'm just going at it, one race at a time.
I agree, and I'm sure you're gonna take the experience from today and run with it to the next week. So I'm looking forward to see how you're doing, and to bounce off that, how do you feel going into next week? Most of your competitors will be getting a ballast. They're going to be adding weight. How are you feeling that might change things up for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things that's gonna help me out. Hopefully, remain competitive in the series. I think it's a good addition. I mean, not only because it benefits me, but like everybody else said, it keeps everything a bit more competitive. There's more closer racing. But yeah, I think hopefully, and Kyoto is one of the funner tracks for me. So hopefully, I could take advantage of that. But yeah, it should be interesting.
It's great to hear. And going into next week, is there anything that you might be thinking about doing to maybe flip around today's performance to maybe even thinking about a race win for next week?
Yeah, probably just that's I think that's the #1 priority as of right now.
Okay.
Should everything's going.
All right. Thank you very much, La Bamba. I hope you have a great week.
Thanks, you too. Thanks for hosting.
And that is everyone for the drivers' interviews today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching ARC All Japan Championship. Round 1 here at Fuji. It is an amazing time to show you guys my love for the Super GT series, and I hope you guys enjoyed all of the racing, and I hope you guys have a good evening. Thank you.